Today's pattern has 5 patterns in one, so you can make so many garments with just one pattern. I've got 3 garments to share with you that I made from that. I have a dress, a cami, and some shorts. Sneak peek lovely prints. They are for knits and woven, really fun sewing. Stay with me. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and today is about loungewear sewing. Although these pieces could be outerwear as well, it just depends on the fabric choices, the way you make them. They can go either way, and I think those are the best patterns. They are basics, but they are the ones that you will actually wear, and I really enjoy sewing those as well as the more complex types of patterns. These are great because these are the pieces you're going to reach for all the time. This is the Luna Loungewear from Love Notions, and it's a pattern that contains 5 patterns in one. There are lots of options for you to make different types of garments according to your needs. For knit fabrics, you can make a cami, you can make a nighty. These have separate pattern pieces, they aren't exactly the same. And you can also have a bralette that you can make to wear separately or add to the cami or the nighty as a shelf bra. For the cami and nighty, you can use fold over elastic to finish all this area, or you can also make yourself some neat binding that will work perfectly as well. And I'll talk about how to do that in a little sec. As for the bottoms, you have capris or shorts. They are in the same pattern piece, and there's a shorter cut line for you to cut if you want to make shorts. And on the outside of the pants, you'll see these little triangles poking out at the cut line for the shorts, and that's because the hem has been true to that length if you want to make the shorts version. Have an integrated casing, which means you don't have a separate waistband. On the top, you just fold it in and put your elastic through and you're done. Super easy. There are inseam pockets if you want to as an option. I never go for that option. As you know, I don't do pockets. The shorts are designed for woven fabrics, so you have garments here that you can make with knits and with wovens. The Luna Loungewear pattern from Love Notions is only $5 today, so if you haven't got it yet, it's a really nice day to get it for much less. $5 means it's 60% off the regular price. There are 5 patterns in this one pattern, so you can make so many things. It's a really cute style, really wearable, and I've had a lot of fun making mine. My affiliate link is down below, as well as the other resources I have on this pattern. And if you do purchase using my affiliate link, I make a small commission from there, and that helps support the work I do here on YouTube. Thank you so much if you do use my affiliate link. The best fabrics for the cami and the nighty can be a huge variety. You do need some stretch. There is some negative ease at the bust, so your fabric does have to stretch. A good example that's really comfortable is cotton spandex. You need to have at least 5% spandex in there. You need to have some recovery. You know, those knits that are 100% cotton, I don't really think they're going to work well. They will stretch out and they just won't recover, and they'll just start growing and growing. So I wouldn't recommend that. Rayon spandex, bamboo, modal, all those lightweight knits are really nice as well for the cami and the nighty. You can use athletic knits, ITY, and you know, staying with the lightweight to medium weight knits. I wouldn't make this in a ponte, for example. Now, if you want to make the body of your garments, the nighty or the cami, with a really lightweight knit, and you want to use binding for your knit, you need to find another fabric that's a little heavier, a little bit more structured, you know, to put on your lightweight knit. And that's what I've done with one of my versions today. I have a rayon spandex cami, which is really light. I would not want to make the binding out of that same rayon spandex. It just won't hold this together. It will just all flop. You know, your straps will just start dropping. So I combined that with a cotton spandex that's heavier, more structured for the binding for that one. For my dress version, nighty, and just a disclaimer, I'm not making loungewear here. I'm making clothes that I can wear outside too, and also wear in the house because that's what I like. For the dress or nighty, I made it out of an athletic knit, which is a medium weight knit with a nice stretch and recovery, and I use the same fabric for the binding on that one. For the capris or the shorts, you need woven fabrics, and depending on what you like to wear, you can use so many types. You can use quilting cotton, cottons. You can even use linen if you want to, a really light denim, flannel if you want like a winter capri. You can really use whatever you want. I've used rayon twill for mine. I think it's always a really nice drapey fabric that has a little bit more body. It is medium weight, feels lovely on, it's nice and fresh. Now, this is not the first time I've made the Luna, and last year around May maybe, I made 2 slips using the nighty pattern. I really needed some slips. As you know, I like to sew dresses made out of sort of semi-sheet transparent fabrics, so having some slips around is always good. I made a black one in a swim fabric, which has worked out super good when I want to wear something super light on top. And I made a rayon spandex one in brown. For those two, I finished them with fold over elastic on the neckline. And I did a little hack so that they can be reversible. I can switch them around, wear them front to back. And on one side you have a V, on the other side you have a round neckline. I think that's really fun because if you're using it like a slip, you might have something that goes on top that has a deeper V and you don't want your slip to be showing like that. So that's why I did that. And you can see how to do that in detail, how to use the fold over elastic and how to do the hack with the neckline to make it reversible. And I'll insert here a 1-minute clip from the ones I made last year just so you can see how they look. I like the length there above the knee. It's a much better length than the slip I have. Slightly A-line, so it's not like a bodycon tight thing underneath. And I've got the V shape facing the front right now, but I can just switch it around and have the round one on the front if I want. That's how that neckline looks. And if I switch it, this one's going to be much lower on the back and the other one just a little bit higher on the front. But I prefer this one. I prefer this little V one, how it looks better. This is a neckline there. That little V was just a cheap one. Just sew a little bit behind there and that's fine. It's still modest. I'm not showing anything. I could wear this like a swimsuit cover up. I wouldn't wear it as a dress. It's swimsuit material, so I could like wear this on top of a swimsuit to the pool. But I like it more like a slip. Okay, so I've swapped it to the round neckline there. You can still see the shape is a little bit higher, it's rounder, it's nice. And at the back is just gonna look lower now because there's that V there. And I really like having the choice to be swapping them around.
You think this is starting to wear on me? You've been rated down like hell. I'm weak.
This is how the rayon spandex one looks. Same length. It actually feels lighter on. It feels really nice on. And this is definitely something I wouldn't wear on its own. It will be a slip. I still did the V neckline here, so that's the same, and the round neckline there is at the back. It'll be super helpful for some things that I want to throw on top.
I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair what we made.
The Luna loungewear has sizes from extra small to 3X, so it hasn't been updated yet to include the full size range up to 5X, but it will eventually because Tammy is working through all the previous patterns to get them up to the size range up to 5X. There are 2 inches of negative ease at the bust for the Cami and the Nighty, but then you have some ease at the waist and the hips. Now, if you make the Cami though, the Cami is fitted all the way around. If you have store-bought Camis, the ones that you wear underneath, like underlayers, you'll see that they are fitted all the way down. But the Nighty has a separate pattern piece and the Nighty does have some ease at the waist and hips. The Cami I've made using the pattern for the Nighty, not the pattern for the Cami, because I wanted mine to have a little bit more ease at the hips, just because I want to wear it out in the street, not like underlayer or like shapewear, you know. So that's what I did with mine. The pants have about 2 to 3 inches of positive ease at the hips. To choose your size for the pants, choose it based on your full hip. Up on the waist, it doesn't really matter because you have tons of ease there because it is elasticated. In Up Close and So Personal, you are going to see how my muslin fits. I go over my fitting adjustments also in the next segment. They were very simple. The major change I made to my shorts is that I didn't want to have that integrated casing on the top. I wanted to remove that and have a yoga waistband. So I'm going to show you how I altered the top of the front and back pieces. Very easy to do. I'm going to show you a pattern piece for a yoga waistband that you can make for yourself and use if you like this option. I just love a yoga waistband. You can't feel that it's there. It's so comfortable on. You don't need an elastic inside. And it's just the best. It's just the best. And you can put it on a woven pant.
Don't you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been rated down like hell. I'm weak.
This is my muslin. I made the capri length. I have no plans to use this because this fabric is horrible. It is woven though. I made some feet adjustments, but very basic ones. I didn't modify the rise of the front, so that's original. And at the back, I added an inch here at the rise, but only in the center back, tapering to nothing here on the side seams. At the top, I folded it back by 1.25 inches, sewed it down, put an elastic in there. And in the inseam, I took it in by 3/8, tapering to nothing up to the knee. I think they fit well for pajamas, for loungewear. I think they're really good. I like the feet at the back. It just drapes over your bottom like that. But for my final versions, I plan to make the shorts. The shorts will be around there, and I think they're going to be super comfy to wear. And yep. Super happy to go and cut my nice fabric now. These are the pattern pieces that I'm using, and I'm making shorts. I did make them 2 inches longer, about 1.5 inches from the cut line. I drew my lengthen and shorten line, and I added 2 inches there, same as on this other piece, and then just made these shapes make sense there. So that's how I made mine 2 inches longer. But I want to focus on the top. These pants or shorts, whatever you're making, have an integrated casing. That means you don't need a separate waistband. All you need to do is fold from the top, fold it in and put your elastic through. Super easy to do. It's 1.25 inch. So that's the red line that you see right there on both of these pieces. I made my muslin with the original pattern, folded in that amount, put my elastic to make sure that the waist of the pants was hitting my waist, and it does. And the only fitting adjustment I did was lengthen the back rise by 1 inch right here at the center back, tapering to nothing at the side seam. I did nothing to the front because when I measured it, it was going to be perfect for me. I just needed extra length at the back. So if I want to do a yoga waistband instead, which I always find super comfortable, I know the yoga waistband has a finished width. That means I need to reduce the length on the top of these pants just from the waist down measure, so that the height there will be completed with the waistband. So I'll show you up closer here on the top. This is the top. You can see I've got the line where I would need to fold back to do the casing for the elastic. So that is where your pants would reach and would reach on your body, not this. So we're not counting that. And I know my waistband, the finished width that I like, is 2 3/8 inch. Consider that is going to be my yoga waistband. That means I need to cut it down shorter. So from that red line, which is where you would fold for the casing, from that line I measured 2 3/8 and just drew that green line there. I'm not going to cut this shorter at the green line. I'm going to cut this 3/8 inch higher because I need to have the seam allowance to sew the waistband on. So from that green line, I'm just going to cut it 3/8 up from there. So now this is going to be my front piece. It's way shorter. The completed length of the rise and everything is going to still reach my waist, only it will have that yoga waistband there instead, which I always find so comfortable. I don't feel that it's there. It's so nice to wear. I want to show you how my waistband looks if you want to make one for yourself. This is the one I'm going to make. I actually always just measure it on the fabric, but I decided to actually make one and have it around so I can just cut it out without having to measure every single time. But this is what you want right here. You want this height there to be 5.5 inches. From each edge, you're going to measure up and draw 3/8 because that is the seam allowance. That will give you a width of 4 3/4 without the seam allowances there. And when you fold this waistband lengthwise in half, that is going to end up giving you the 2 3/8 inch finished width that you want for the waistband. That 3/8 seam allowance right there, and that is how tall your waistband is going to be. It's not too tall. I think it's perfect. It'll hold up your pants. It's the way that's going to go. That 3/8 will unite with that 3/8 right there, and that's how you're going to end up with the same length right here of the original pants. Only that part of that is going to be a knit. It'll be that waistband and it'll be super comfortable. You always want to cut your waistband with the greatest stretch going this way on your knit. I like to cut mine about 4 inches smaller than my waist measurement, so I'm sure it's going to hold up and not fall down. There's not going to be an elastic in there. So I just have a length right here that will be variable to your body measurements. You can make this for yourself and just keep it around and use it for skirts, for pants. If you want to add this type of waistband to a pant that has a separate waistband, I think it's easier because you just replace this with a separate waistband. But in this case, I had to do that removing of the length because the casing was sort of on the pant pattern itself. So it took another step, but still perfectly doable with a pant like this. I've got all these little binding pieces for the Cami and the Nighty. The neckline for both is finished the same way. This is how you'll find the bodice binding that will go on the front and the back, and it says cut on the fold twice. I prefer to create an extended piece because it's just easier to place this on 2 layers of fabric and cut it at once, just one time. And I've done the same one for the arm binding. So the pattern piece was up to here and I just extended it, cut 2 of them instead of putting it on the fold. Make sure the greatest stretch of the fabric is going this way. I'm going to finish my binding a little different than what the pattern says, just because I prefer to have the inside edge of the binding folded and not raw. So instead of cutting it this width, I cut it a little bit taller here. So my binding is almost 2 inches tall right here. Maybe this is 1 7/8, so almost 2 inches like that. In metric, that would be 4.7 centimeters. That's how tall I find that it works well to get it past this bias tape maker that has 25 on the back, 25 millimeter. So once you pass it through there, you'll get 2 folds and the finished width will be 1 inch, which is 25 millimeters. That's why it says 25 on the back. So I put all my binding pieces through there. This one is a cotton spandex with great stretch and recovery. This is what I'm going to use on the Cami, that the main fabric is a rayon spandex. You don't want to make this type of binding with rayon spandex or ITY, something very light. It's just not going to hold it up. So this is more structured, this is heavier, and it'll mesh well with the front and the back pieces that have rayon spandex. And this print is an athletic knit, and my front and back pieces have the same fabric, so I'm using the exact same fabric because this is appropriate for that. This is one of the camis I'm making, and this is the neckline, this is the front. The back is actually the same, and I've taken my binding and wrapped it around the raw edge. I've got a fold on the front and the back. I just like it neat like that. And the binding is slightly shorter than the neckline, of course, so I did stretch it out while I was hand basting it to make sure it's all good. And now I'm going to sew this on the edge, and I'm going to use my twin needle for that. And I think it looks pretty. It looks like a fake cover stitch. I don't have a cover stitch, but I think this looks really nice. And when you sew with a twin needle, on the other side you get a type of zigzag, so it also allows this to stretch. There is negative V's around the chest, so this is a perfect way to sew it, and I love how this looks. That's how I'm going to make both of them. After sewing that short area there, then comes putting the binding on the armhole. It's very short, so this long binding covers part of the armhole. I also made this section a little bit shorter so that it would pull into the body, and then you have part of the binding that's just on its own, and then it goes off there and catches the neckline on the other side and then goes off to the other armhole. So you have this long thing to sew now on the edges, same as on this side. Once the binding is on, then we can pick up and sew the side seams all the way down. Now that will mean there will be a bit of bulk right here. I will try to manage it and tuck it down to the side so that it's not seen on the outside, and that's it. And then you hem it and you're done. Super easy. Here's my Cami. You might recognize this fabric from my Oasis dress that I showed you in the previous video. I had a little bit left over that was perfect. So if you have little bits of knits lying around, you can make this and you can get a whole garment. This took no fabric at all. And my binding is a denim look jersey. It is a cotton spandex with really nice stretch and recovery. Easy to work with. It doesn't curl. You know, it behaves really well when you're trying to press it into the binding and sewing it on. So nice, and the twin needle worked perfectly because this is a darker color. You can't see the details, So I'll show you that better with the other dress I made. The side seam there where the binding is got a little bit bulky. After I serged the side seams, I got all that bulk and pressed it towards the back and then hand tacked that down really flat right there so I can't feel it. And actually when I put it on to take pictures, I couldn't feel that right there. It's perfectly fine. Super lovely fabric. I have a twin needle hem. It's so easy. I mean, it's 2 side seams and some binding. The binding does take a little while, but it turns out super nice. To go with my cami as a set, although I could wear them separately, and it's not a pajama, you know, I could lounge around in the house, but I could also wear it outside. I made the shorts navy rayon twill. I love rayon twill. I love the texture of it. I hope the camera picks up the texture. There is a fake fly there that I did sew. My yoga waistband made with the same denim look cotton spandex that I used for the binding here. Not that anyone's gonna know, but there is something in common, so it makes a match. Navy will go with everything, and these shorts were so fast and easy to whip up. So easy. I've just folded my hem up and top stitch. Nothing special there, no pockets. The waistband goes on so easy. I've got a detailed tutorial on how to sew this on with the Allegro bottoms from Love Notions, and I've shown it many times in the past. But here I've shown you how I made this waistband, how wide it was, all those things. Always such a good alternative. And the gathers you see here aren't actually gathers. It was just me stretching the band to match the pants. And then when it comes back in, it creates the little gathers. But when you wear it on the body, you can't see them. They don't create bulk. I think it's a really good alternative. And I love putting that on everything. So let's see how these two look together. I made this Luna loungewear set yesterday. It's meant to be for lounging, but also to wear outside. I'd be very happy to go outside like this. Super fresh outfit. And I made the shorts version. My shorts are 2 inches longer than the original shorts just because I like my shorts a little longer. I think this is the shortest I would wear shorts. The shorts are rayon twill. I have a yoga waistband hack that you can see how to do on my channel. This cami is made from the Nighty pattern because that one flares out a little bit and has a little bit more ease here. Here you can see the shorts up closer. It's a size extra large. I did make some fit adjustments you can see in the video, but they were very minor. The major change was that I don't have the integrated casing for these pants. The original ones, you would just fold it under and put the elastic through. But I shortened my rise to compensate for what the yoga waistband was going to add right there. I love yoga waistbands. I can't feel that they're on. So comfortable. You saw how I did my binding. My binding finishes up about 1/2 inch wide, which is nice because this bra actually has that width of a bra strap. Even though I'm wearing a regular bra, I can't see the bra strap, which is good. This fabric is heavier than this one, so it's really good. You need to mix it up if you're using a light fabric on the main pieces, because a light type of binding won't really hold this up. So this is medium weight, this is lightweight, and I think it's a good mix. They have the same neckline front and back. I feel really covered. This covers right under. You know, I'm not showing my armpits or anything. No pattern adjustments, nothing whatsoever. I just made the extra large and that's how it fits me. Here's a closer look at the binding. I've sewn it on with a twin needle, so it allows some stretch. This area is fitted to the body and this area as well. It brings it all in. There's nothing gaping and looking sloppy. I think it looks really good. It's hard for me to commit and make actual loungewear. I always want to have loungewear that I could be comfortable in but also go out with. I'm sure you would love to make yourself some of these sets. They're just really cute and practical. This is my dress, and I had this athletic knit left over from a pair of leggings I made at the start of the year, the sundial leggings. I always knew that I could make a dress with it too. These types of athletic knits are so good. They're medium weight. They do have some drape, and actually you don't need this fabric to drape that much because it's not a flowy dress. It doesn't have a really full skirt or anything like that, and it's got that structure to hold the negative ease at the bust really well. The binding was super easy to work with as well. I've got the same fabric here. And then it just goes out A-lined, same as the other one. I did the same thing to the side seams to keep them flat. I just pushed it all to the back and hand sewed that down flat right there. I'm hoping with this one you can see the double needle really well. It allows stretch. On the other side it creates a little zigzag, so it's a great finish. On the inside you also have a fold that's really clean. It looks like I did it with a cover stitch, but I didn't. I think it looks really professional actually. I really love how that looks. You could use also a shallow zigzag to sew that down. It would also allow some stretch. And in the past, I've also been known to just use a straight stitch, and I've never had popped threads or anything like that because, you know, I put my clothes on carefully. And I have a twin needle hem. I really love this. I think it's really fun, and I love that I could wear it as a dress, as a swim cover up, because it is an athletic knit. This will get dry really quickly if it got wet. And also I could just lounge around and have a nap in it and I'd be perfectly fine with it. Super lovely. Let's see it on. This is my Luna loungewear nighty, but I didn't make it to be a nighty. I made it to be a summer dress. I could also sleep in it, so I always try to make garments that will work for whatever. And this is an athletic knit. I really love the print. I think it's really cute with the purple and the pink and the black. I made an extra large. The only fitting adjustment I did was make it 2 inches shorter than the original. I think the nighty is supposed to just be longer, and I always want my dresses above the knee. It's not a tight dress, although there's some negative ease at the bust. You will have some space at the waist and hips. It is A-lined. I've hemmed mine with a twin needle, and up on the top you can see the cover is really nice. The neckline is rounded, front and back the same. It's not excessively low, and I love the result of the binding with the twin needle as well. It allows it to stretch and look really pretty. I really enjoyed doing that. I think I'm going to be doing that again. Super loved making this. This is the type of dress I wear all the time. I love that there's so many options in this pattern for capris, pants, shorts, bralette, cami, nighty. 5 things you can get from this pattern. I think it makes it super great value. Super cool. I know a lot of people think it's not worth sewing basics like this, but I always think it's worth it because you can get really good quality materials. I know I've bought camis in the past, items like this that are made with really poor materials. They don't last very long. You can't customize the fit to your body. You know, you find a cami that's random. Sometimes they even sell them in one size fits all, and definitely one size does not fit all. Sometimes those ones you buy just fit really poorly, really tight, or they're just too low. You just can't customize anything. So I really enjoyed sewing these basics. You know, they do get a lot of wear. I think the capris or the shorts can be perfectly worn outside. They aren't just pajamas, you know. In my eyes, I would wear these outside any day. And I really enjoyed sewing these basics. I really encourage you to try and sew your own basics as well. They are items that we will wear over and over, and why not make them? They're just going to be so much better than if we bought them. I love these prints. I love these fabrics that I can use leftovers from other projects. So just fun all around. Really recommend the pattern. It's super cool. Don't forget that it's $5 today, and it's just for today, Friday. I'll leave you my link underneath. And I have a video ready for you where I've made some really cute woven tops. I had a really hard time editing that one, but it's coming soon. So please subscribe to this channel. You always get lots of practical sewing content here, along with lots of tips about fabric, just a lot of content about sewing. I'm filming in an indoor type of balcony on the side of my house today. I get good lighting here. I tried to go out there and I had to do my pictures so fast because there are so many bees, I've been attacked by bees before. I've been stung on my scalp, and I did not want that to happen again. So I couldn't really go and film out there. The bees were everywhere. And even though it is autumn, the trees never go bare. Yeah, you see leaves around, but I'm in Brazil, it's pretty tropical, and autumn doesn't mean the trees are not green. Some trees have flowers. I'm scared of them. I don't want to get bitten, so I'm filming in a weird place today. I hope you don't expect me to always be in the same place when I film. I try to mix it up, keep you on your toes. You never know what to expect. Okay, if you made it that far, I just wanted to add that at the end. Have a great weekend and happy sewing. Bye!